Alright. You know, I'm gonna take care of these AMD fans real quick. You know what I'm saying? Get this news out the way real quick. Gotta keep them happy. Alright. We got this. Alright. Oh, by the way, hello viewers. Another beautiful day. Yep. Hope your five senses work, health and strength is good. We're excellent. Good. Alright, listen up, you AMD fans. Listen to this. Says here, switching to Linux from Windows 11 24H2 for performance could be wiser on AMD Ryzen 9000. Says here, when AMD announced its Ryzen 9000 series desktop processor lineup at Computex earlier this year, the company touted big performance gain thanks to a massive 16% IPC instruction per clock cycle. Yeah, tech. Anyway, boost. Says here, while the company claims probably have not been unsure, the overall performance of a processor is the byproduct of not just IPC but the clock speed too. And this is where a lot of the media who reviewed the chip felt it fell short. For example, the octa-core Ryzen 7 9700X is much more efficient than the 7700X, but it leaves performance on the table, at least on Windows 11 it seems. According to a comparison by the German website PC Games Hardware, PCGH, it seems Windows 11 24H2 may not be the right OS choice if you have a Zen 5 base Ryzen 9000 series CPU. This site found in its comparison that in most instances the Linux distro Nobara is supposedly optimized for gaming was faster than Windows 11 24H2, and the performance gap was not limited to just gaming either, as productivity tests also showed Ryzen 9000 performance better on Linux. Although the PCCH has conducted more game tests, we decided to show the performance difference in Cyberpunk 2077 Liberty expansion pack, which is known to be very CPU heavy, so much so that the game devs once cautioned about sufficient thermal cooling. Says there in the titles, Linux Nobara came out fast in the average frame rate as well as percentile lows, indicating a better, smoother overall gaming experience on Linux. Let's see, it shows Nobara, and then it has 103, and then it has 72, 65, and then on the Windows it has 94.6, and then it has, I think, what's this, 60, 68, and 62. And it says, meanwhile, Nobara also shows excellent performance with file achieving, as both comparison and decompression were noticeably faster. Image below. The former is more memory dependent on that is why it see a big boost when faster memory is added. We saw in our DDR5 7600 RAM kit review. It says the Linux distro was fast in decompression, to indicating that it's better than Windows 11 24H2 at both overall resource management, be it memory or CPU. And it says Phoronix also conducted a wide range of tests on Linux and found that Zen 5 saw an impressive improvement over Zen 4, again implying that Ryzen 9 series CPU owners could be looking at a better performing setup if they were to switch to a lighter Linux distro. And then it shows the chart here, geometric mean all test results, result complete. AMD Ryzen 5 9600X, AMD Ryzen 9 9700X Linux performance benchmark. And then it shows for Intel Core, let's see, i5 13400 55.34, Core i5 13600 72.20, Core i9 13900 90.50, and then for the Core i3 14100 43.77. Core i5 14400. That's 53.57. Then Core i5 14500 is 59.50. And then the 14600K, that's Core i5, that's 75.34. And then for the Core i9 14900K is 95.05. And then it shows the charts in all red the rest of the way, from the Ryzen 5500, 41.3, 5600X, 4101, 5800X, 54.84, 5800X 3D, 5800X 3D, that's 55.42, and that's for Ryzen 7. The first two Ryzens were 5s, and then for the Ryzen 9, two of them, 5900 and 5950, we saw 63.26, and then what's that? 67.50, and then for the Ryzen 5 7600 and 7600X, we saw 63.94, and then 64.09, and then for the, let's see, the Ryzen, what's this, 7700 and 7700X, we saw 75.20 and 78.31, and then for the Ryzen 7 7800 X3D and 8700G, we saw 75.45 and 68.59. Then for Ryzen 9 7900 and for Ryzen 9 7900X, we saw 87.03 and 92.55. And then for the Ryzen, what's this? 9 7900 X3D and 7950X, we saw 91.07 and 107.25. And then for the Ryzen 9 7950 X3D, we saw 103.81, and then for the Ryzen 5 9600X, 80.49, and Ryzen 7 9700X, we saw a 90.08, and it says, bear in mind thoughts that Windows 11 24H2 is yet to be generally available for non-Copilot plus PC. That implies that optimization could probably be pending, though bear in mind that the Ryzen AI 300 series processor that will power Copilot plus PC are built on built on Zen 5 as well, the same as Ryzen 9000 series. Source image PCGH and Phoronix. So I'll leave the links in the description box. Yeah, AMD folks. So the comment section, people are just, we got 25 comments. You know how that go in the comment section. They just letting loose. 25 comments. Yeah, 25 comments in the comment section. So they're letting loose. Let's see here. See what some people are saying here. Ark said this might look silly in a desktop, but in a laptop with integrated graphics is a world of difference. Then Eon said this should have been tested on 23H2, not 24H2. Until 24H2 is released, AMD can rightfully say that Microsoft hasn't reached that version of Windows on x86 PC yet. Technically, 24H2 isn't released yet for x86 technically. And then Hello said this, yeah, although 24H2 is currently already supported, Intel and AMD x86 CPUs, albeit for Copilot plus PC, and those AMD Ryzen's AI chips in the Copilot device are based on Zen 5 too. Perhaps this is something I should add in the article. And then I'm gonna get one more. And then Electrifier said this, Mr. Electrifier, with Linux OEM likes Tuxedo now realizing the benefits of 4-in-1 PC, I am just eagerly waiting for devs to make something as versatile as offline functional and one note for platform. Tuxedo to keep improving their OS to offer ability to seamlessly run Android apps on it too, like Windows subsystem for Android, without them feeling nor looking like an isolated experience. Once the above are implemented, that will be Linux OS. I will gladly dual boot on my Surface Pro 7 and utilize Linux 100%. Meets my computing needs. And can I get one more? And then next it said this. Only downside with this, you have to use Linux on the desktop. I use Linux on servers, but it still can't compare with Windows on desktops. P.S. I use Windows 10 still. Windows 11 graphical user interface is a bit of a mess, in my opinion. One more, get a couple more comments. And then, let's see, mine said this. I use Linux on a desktop for ages. What's stopping you? Question mark. And then next said this. Yep, no reason to punish yourself at home. And then Eon said this. Your computing needs aren't the needs of everyone else. He might need something that can be done on Linux, or that it's more cumbersome when compared to Windows. Then Ark said this. I do use it, no problem. I was punishing myself with Windows until made the switch. I cannot go back now. And then Light said this. Is it really worth it for 3 FPS more? And Ray said this. No. And let's see. Data Center said exactly my thoughts. And also there will be new drivers for those new chips, so things will change quickly. Jeezy said this. In the age of digital foundry, apparently some would say yes. Mike was like, okay. In my dream, Microsoft would see the error in current Windows development and start a new MLFM project, mean lean fighting machine, where in addition to security, the focus on Windows would be to make it as fast and light as possible. That would mean removing all the ads, recommendation, all of the we install, and then load everything into a memory just in case. Features of all these useless backgrounds, animation, etc. Let the user have an OS where they can actually choose what to install. The OS does not try to optimize your experience by doing useless crap in the background. No recommendation, ads, useless service, etc. is performed. Just basic OS GUI, nothing the user didn't explicitly ask for, as I said in my dreams. Anyway, that's how far I'm gonna go. But yeah, these guys are sounding off in the comment section, man. Yeah, they just let their thoughts and opinions be heard. But who is this? Necro said this, and he said good luck. What he said, good luck supporting this insane fragmented for the masses. The Data Center said this. I'm sorry for saying this, but everyone pushing for Linux is like vegan expressing themselves on every possible and impossible occasion to state that the performance difference is really small and will change with the new update and drivers. So then switching back to Windows. Who was this? And then Big John said this. I choose to click on this news story about Linux so that I could cry about how people are showing Linux news. People are shoving Linux news down my throat. Anyway, I am off to update my CPU driver. Necro said this. Comparing Linux users to vegans, that's brilliant. And then Data Center said this. Chipset driver, smiley face, Jeezy. As Linux become easier, more accessible, and more capable on the desktop, some are discovering its virtues for the first time, so they say it's like it's new. You don't have to feel threatened. It's still less than 5% share on desktops. And Data Center says, he said, I feel annoyed because it was always been accessible and capable. but still clumsy and problematic, like extend a volume, fix a printer, or wait, there's the dependency chain broken. Bang hour waste for just a simple task. Linux is great, just not the messiah that fresh IT people are proclaiming. Smiley face. Oh man, they just going off in the I got two more comments here. It says then it says Ark said this. Nah, I am a pro user, not IT expert, and for me the worst hurdle was to undervolt my GPU. Everything else works out of the box. And then the worker software says this. There are things at play that we the average users never learn, like the under the table agreement from ASUS and Intel and Nvidia, Intel and Microsoft and so on. That's always tried to strike AMD's growth and user base enlargement. This is one of the reasons I only use AMD from 2012, and on everything new AMD architecture launch. Microsoft knows nothing about this, and it takes a year to mitigate problems. Then it says this never happens with Intel. And Mike said this. The same can be said about the OEMs. When Intel launched a new CPU on a day one, there are dozens of models from various manufacturers available. When AMD launch a new GPU, it takes months to actually find that anywhere. HP is notoriously bad at supporting AMD, and Dell is even worse. And then Pierce said this. Why switch at all when there are dual boot options? I run Windows 11 24H2 on the same HPAIO AMD SSD for 5 Linux distros. Using MX23 as boot central works perfectly, and the performance comparison are easy to see in and out of Linux in a fraction of the time it takes Windows to boot and shut down. Windows generally handles video clips more consistently than Linux, although Mint can give it a run for the money. That's that's all the comments. So I was only going to do 3, but I ended up doing the whole thing. But anyway, Linux, Windows, people have their thoughts and their opinions. Some people like Windows, some people like Linux, some people like both, and then other people flip-flop between the two. So yeah, that's how it goes. So anyway, AMD, it's on the move. So 25 comments, 1 article, and a graph showing the comparison. Yeah, we'll leave the links for Phoronix and PCGH, and then let you guys see it for yourself. So other than that, man, tech industry goes on, moves on, rolls on. Discussions will continue to happen with Windows, Linux, AMD, Intel, the usual, so Nvidia. Debates will always happen, so give the users something to do, yeah, share their experience. But other than that, man, tech industry moves on. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still Star Wars, Star Trek fan, or Dark Side. Go. Peace.